Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria. Welcome to the channel. This is our Vedic Astrology perspective on the new moon solar eclipse that occurs on September 21st, 2025 at 12:54 p.m. and that's here on the Pacific coast of the US. So you'll just have to adjust for your time zone or look up your actual time for your location online. So we have the new moon here. New moons are always conjoined the sun, and solar eclipses only occur at new moons. So we have our new moon here at 4 degrees 52 minutes of the sign of Virgo in the nakshatra Uttara Phalguni. What jumped out at me first off when I pulled up this chart for this new moon solar eclipse is that the moon and the sun are in a nakshatra which is ruled by the sun. So the sun rules Uttara Phalguni and Mercury rules Virgo. And so there is a concentration of energy. Of course, it's a solar eclipse too. New moons are already a concentration of energy, but there's like this extra intense, like I just keep doing this, tight concentration of energy at this new moon solar eclipse. So new moon energies can carry out for the next month, right? The next month till the next new moon. But solar eclipse energy can last, 6 months or so. Some people say a year. I usually see it until the next, eclipse season, which is every 6 months or so. So the moon. The moon is at its darkest, right? At the new moon. We can't see it. It's the dark moon. The new moon is when it start to see the light, that sliver coming out. There's a quiet energy, but I also get attending to that which is lurking underneath. Now we can see that as very psychological, right? What's lurking within our psyche, but there's also a strong material physical energy with this new moon solar eclipse. So Uttara Phalguni, the ruling deities are Bhaga and Aryaman. And it's a wish fulfilling, like Phalguni means, that which you desire being fulfilled, right? Uttara means the second half of the Phalguni Ketu, who is technically what is causing this eclipse, even though they're in different signs, they're within 10 degrees of each other, is in the first half of the Phalguni Nakshatra. So there's a strong material, physical, even fortunate energy. So very much of the physical life. And that sort of quiet underneath the surface is like, it's sort of waking us up, right? The relighting side of the eclipse. And I'm pretty sure this is a partial solar eclipse. Whether or not it's visible where you live, the energies are still there. It's like realizing, I need to address these physical matters, these material things. And for my location, this happens in the 11th house, and the house will change depending on your location. But if we look at this as the horary method of the astrologer's location, it's in the 11th house of gains specifically from career, but it is a material house. It's also, I call it a people house, right? Your social life, your connections, your networking, your marketing. Strong material emphasis here. And then of course it's in an earth sign of Virgo, and Virgo's ruler Mercury is right here, adding to that concentration of energy of practical physical matters. Now, Mercury rules mercantile. What's a more common word? I can't think of it, right? And it's all the material stuff. So what material matters? What physical needs have you not been addressing, right? What's been left under the table? It needs to come on top of the table. Bring it onto the table. Is it addressing your income, your finances? Of course, there is a fortunate, wish-fulfilling element to this. This doesn't mean everyone's going to go out and win the lottery, right? But it's like addressing what has been left under the table, putting it on top of the table when it comes to your money, your income, your finances. It could also play out as connections, right? Connections to people that will bring in more fortune. Addressing those matters, and with the Mercury and Virgo energy in a very practical way. Virgo is the sign of meticulous practicality. it will lead to, you could say, greater fortune, or more of your financial wishes, or a better way to say it, more of your financial goals coming to fruition, not overnight likely, but down the road over the next 6 months at least, and hopefully beyond. Now, if we look at the drishtis here, the only planet that has a drishti on this new moon solar eclipse is Saturn here, and that's directly across 8th house drishti, the opposite sign. Saturn here in the sign of Pisces. Now, Saturn's not particularly strong in Pisces. He just came out of about 5 years in his own 2 signs, Capricorn and Aquarius. He's now in Pisces, the depths of the ocean. Not his favorite place to be, not terrible though. So there can be some restrictions. I want to say restrictions that are released if you bring them up onto the table, right? You have to take action. You have to work with the astrology to make it work for you. But because he's in a sort of subdued sign and he's retrograde, which I don't see as a negative thing, but it more internalizes the energy, we have to make that choice to free ourselves of any material restrictions in however way we can, right? We don't always have the power to say, oh, I'm going to suddenly make twice as much money. But what steps can you take? What needs to be brought onto the table? Out from under the table, things you have not addressed, you have not noticed, that maybe just come to light because of the energy of this new moon solar eclipse. And what I feel most strongly with Saturn's energy here, looking at this full moon, and if you notice the degrees, he's exactly opposite, right? He's 4 degrees, 14 minutes, 4 degrees, 52 minutes. It's an exact drishti, right? An exact opposition is to be patient, to plan things for the long term. Saturn likes, solid foundations, things that will last a long time. So whatever you're doing for your material, physical, you say wealth, abundance, your goals, where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in a year? What steps can you take? What have you not consciously been addressing? What comes to the surface that you didn't know about? Put it all on the table. And that could be quite literal. You could sit down with your family, your spouse, your partner, or maybe it's just yourself with all your finances and take a look and say, oh, we need to do this, let's do that, let's invest here, let's cut here, whatever it might be. But plan for the long term to allow your goals or your wishes to begin to come to fruition. That's an excellent way to work with this energy of the new moon solar eclipse. Okay, that is the gist of it. I record the Vedic first before the Western. The Western astrology perspective will be up shortly. And then I will also have the tarot reading for this eclipse energy coming up as well. Thank you guys for listening in, and I'll see you back here soon.